Hello dear listener, the audio was almost all fixed. Not as much garbage. I need to buy another pop filter. Also pardon the minor echo that pops up sometimes though. Pretend we recorded at the Grand Canyon.
Cool. This is our third episode of the VR Shiz show.
We hit the trilogy.
Hopefully more than that, but...
Yeah, I mean, if we do another trilogy, as long as it's not like the latest Star Wars one, I think we should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do introductions. You guys should know me by now. I'm Vince.
Well, what if they don't? What if they haven't been listening to the last...
This is the first one that you're listening to.
They're missing so much lore in those first two episodes about us.
Yeah. I think at one point we're just going to create lore for the memes. And it will be hilarious because we'll just have to keep up with everything that we're saying.
Yeah. It'll be good, though.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think as of last week, I'm established as a lizard, right? I think I'm a lizard.
We're not sure yet.
Not yet, right?
I don't know.
I haven't eaten you yet, so clearly not. But
well, I could have been a lizard now, too.
It's true. It's true. That's the scary thing.
We haven't determined a lot about what reptoids we are yet.
No.
We'll get there. But yeah, this is VR Shiz Show episode 3. Hopefully the audio is better, but who knows? Because so I actually have taken a lot of classes on audio production.
Yeah.
Given that last episode, you may not be too sure.
I only took one, and I was only half paying attention because it was all bookwork instead of actually working with the audio. So I might as well have not taken it.
See, I was a film major. I am a former film major. I have that on my resume.
It's also on his business card.
Yes, that's all it says. It just says former film major services.
Yeah.
But so I had taken a bunch of audio production because that's what I like to work with. I dropped out of film because turns out I hated it. But I do enjoy working with audio. So I have a lot of understanding with it. I hate the program Adobe Audition. It is absolute garbage. I have gripes with you about how much I hate this software. And it just started crashing today. It didn't want to recognize your mic at all. It just decided, no, we're just going to use the one mic, not the other.
Yeah, no, I think every single time that we've done this, I've heard you complain at least 3 times. I have no idea what's going on, obviously. I'm just looking starry-eyed like, if you're telling me that it's not working, then it's not working. I'm just going to trust you.
Yeah.
But from the little that I have been exposed to it, yeah, no, it's given us more problems than I think has helped us at this point.
Yeah. I was reminded that RTX voice exists, and my big boy gaming computer does indeed have an RTX graphics card. So maybe that'll fix some issues of audio and isolate some voices, make things sound nice, but
Nice and crisp.
Crisp.
All right, Richard. ASMR. Well, what is our... Okay. Hold on, give me a moment to breathe. Okay, so what is our first and possibly, depending on how long we go with it, only topic for today?
Topic today, we wanted to do some video gamey stuff because we are both, as I mentioned with my big boy gaming PC, we are big gamer boys.
Yes, I am. I don't know if I can make, I'm going to make the joke. I've doubted myself every single time we've done one of these. I've always said, I don't know if I can say that. This is my character arc. I'm just going to say it now.
Wow, what progress
I'm a gamer,
you've made.
Which means I hate minorities and women. Even though I myself am a minority. I love
You're
that
not
meme.
a woman, though.
No, I'm not a woman. No, not since the last time I checked, which was in the morning. But I check at least once a day.
That's good.
You never know. You might change. I think that's probably one of my favorite memes. Yeah, I'm a gamer. I'm racist and hate minorities. If you guys have never seen that, please look at that before you actually call me racist and a sexist, because it's a meme, I promise.
It's a meme, I promise, officer.
I'm gonna start blowing that up right now.
That's one of my favorite other memes is the, I just posted an N. How was I supposed to know what the other people were going to comment? That's another good meme to look up.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the topic at hand. What was it? Oh yeah, video games. I almost forgot the topic at hand.
Yeah, because I almost derailed it with.
Yeah, I'm a terrible podcast host. I'm sorry. But anyway, with video games, you went with the more broad. What is your favorite video game? Which is bland and boring, and we should save that for a secret special reveal.
Okay, fair.
But I was thinking something more interesting along the lines of favorite video game mechanics.
Ooh.
Because I know mine right off the bat, like the mechanic that I very much love. It's all the kind of roguelite element of permadeath. You get as far as you can, you're learning more and more, and so on and so forth. I love that mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
I put in far too much time into roguelites. For example, I've shown you my playtime for Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I think at this point,
it's almost 300 hours.
Yeah, that rivals the amount of hours that I poured into Fallout 3, because I think I hit about 320 on that. Which, yeah.
Yeah, but
video game mechanics.
Yeah, I did just spring this on you, so.
Yeah, I have to think about that. You know what? I think for me personally, because I don't know if this would be considered a mechanic, but just the way that certain action games work, like the Batman Arkham style of fighting, is probably one of my favorites. Is that considered a mechanic? I think that is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you see that style in the new Spider-Man. It's definitely there. You have like the counters. You have the
more button mashy, but with parry elements.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that. Yeah,
those things.
Did you play the Mad Max game?
I didn't. I had been meaning to buy that.
It's so good. It's so good. So first of all, to derail this conversation entirely, I love Mad Max.
Yes, you do.
It is my favorite movie franchise of all time. Nothing will ever top it. Things get close, but they never surpass it. Like Blade Runner's up there, but Mad Max is my number one franchise. I love all of the movies, even Thunderdome. But so the video game was made by Warner Brothers, who had the rights for Fury Road, the newest film from, what was that, 2015?
I think so.
So Warner Brothers had the rights to it. They slapped on a game. It has those Arkham fighting mechanics, which are fine enough. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they get the job done and they make the combat exciting. But the car combat in the game was fantastic. They actually nailed it, which is something that, not that it's never been done, it's been done to death in many video games, but they did it really, really well.
Yeah.
Made it super interesting.
I think I've told you before, I don't think at this point we can create anything genuinely new, but that's not always a bad thing. It's about creating something that's been done before, but doing it really well with your own spin on it.
Yeah.
Which I think is equally as important as creating something new. Because the last thing you want is for something new to be created, and then for that thing to be awful.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, that parry system, that button mashing style. I mean, it's kind of prevalent in Ghost of Tsushima. It's prevalent in probably one of my favorite video games of all time, Sleeping Dogs. I've mentioned that a couple of times to you.
Yeah.
I like it because if you can get down the rhythm of the fight, it just feels like a movie. You're just like, yes, you're doing all this cool stuff. And then if you're awful, you have no one else to blame but yourself.
Oh yeah, that's why I like roguelites. Is the mechanic is the same the entire game for everything. Every other secondary mechanic is the exact same. But because of permadeath, you are forced to get good at a game.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually feels achievable, unlike my level of skill in fighting games, which is stagnated ever since I picked up a controller and played Smash Bros. Fighting game level of growth is nowhere at all. But learning to understand mechanics is one of my I love it when you finally understand it. Because not to say that it's totally similar form of combat, but did you play Last Jedi Fallen Order?
I haven't beaten
it
yet.
Was.
I am playing it. It's one of the games I'm playing.
So I beat it. I thought it was incredible. Ran all right. It didn't have quite Bethesda level of polish, which is to say mud. But it was close.
I think at this point, that's just part of Bethesda's charm. Like, I think if Bethesda ever released a game with, like, maybe 3 bugs, people would complain because it's just part of what Bethesda is. It's like, hey, how come my game isn't crashing? How come I'm not just clipping into the mountain after
Why is this working?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If it works, then you know it's not Bethesda.
You're right.
But at least they tell a good enough story. Like in, I know it was Obsidian with 3 and New Vegas and then Skyrim. They just take all the credit.
Yeah.
But still, when we think of those games...
Was it Obsidian that did Skyrim?
I don't think they did.
No.
I think I just bunched it in because I considered it a really good game. Which is funny because...
You like to just take away as much as you can from Todd Howard.
Even though Obsidian's absolutely incredible.
Todd Howard, you don't get as much credit as you get.
The funny thing is, I think it was just Obsidian at that point because I played The Outer Worlds, and I think they're the ones who created that because they are from the team.
Yes.
It had just as many bugs. I haven't beaten that game. I got really close, but then I got a game-breaking bug, and it auto-saved. So there's a mission that you have to go on, like, the richest planet there, and it's like a retirement home, but you find out that it's not really a retirement home.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then after I clear out all the enemies in that one area, my game immediately freezes.
So you just have to restart?
It auto-saved, and the last time I'd saved before was like 7 hours before, and I'm just like, I know better than this. Why did I do this? So, I restarted it, but I haven't touched it since I restarted it. I still recommend the game. I think it's absolutely incredible. Its storytelling is definitely... It's campy, but it's fun, and it's a lot of satire.
Yeah.
Which I genuinely enjoy. So I recommend it, but just prepare to have your heart broken.
Yeah, see, for me, though, I this is something else I mentioned to you, is that I am not really all that into video game stories at all.
Which is completely funny because, like, to me, I think a good story makes a video game. So I find it incredible that, like, you and I have talked about this quite a few times, and our perception and our love for video games is completely different, but we're still able to share in those things.
Yes.
You know, even though roguelites aren't my thing, and I struggle with them so much that I'm just like, I don't find too much joy in them. I do play games like Wasteland 3, like actually Wastelanders 2, Wastelanders 3, the XCOM series, which is right up that alley.
Yes.
You know, each map is like randomly generated. There is permadeath. It's just not in real time for the most part. So I think I enjoy those games if I have time to think about my actions.
Yes.
Because then I can think about how awful those actions are when I inevitably miss a 95% shot to the face and I'm like 2 feet away from them with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Good.
See, I like roguelites in both ways because, again, Gungeon is there's no time to think, you're just living in the moment.
Yeah, I remember playing. It was awful.
Yes. But then there's stuff like Into the Breach where you have literally all the time in the world to make your choice and that you still end up making the wrong one. Which is infuriating.
You have to sit down and think about it, right? You're like, Okay, so we've touched on things that we enjoy in terms of, like, video game mechanics. Let me ask you this. What is your most hated video game mechanic?
That's a toughie. That's a real toughie.
I don't know if this would be considered a mechanic. I know this is going back to what I said, but...
Yeah.
Mini games, I know that sounds awful, but mini games for the sake of padding.
Okay.
So, like, mini games in... BioShock, where it has a great story, good gameplay, but then you have to hack a wall by lining up all the pipes and pushing. Like, to me, it breaks game flow, and it's unnecessary.
Yes. There's a lot of things like that. I 100% agree with you. If it doesn't feel natural, and like you said, it's there mostly just to pad out the game, and you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
For me, the one thing that my mind immediately goes to is I love it. It's the only Zelda I've ever beaten, but it's Wind Waker.
Yeah.
And in Wind Waker, there's the one pirate island or whatever it is. Or not pirate island, it's the Windfall. I don't remember the name. But it's the island with the dude, and you're basically playing Battleship single player, kind of.
Interesting.
You have a certain amount of guesses to hit the squid, and it's great because every time you miss, he goes sploosh. But anyway, so it's literally that. And there's speedrunners hated it because it gets you required stuff, but because it's super random and super stupid, it breaks the game for speedrunners, especially. But even when you're just playing it, it's like, why am I in my wondrous adventure?
And then I'm bogged down by this one random thing.
Yeah.
It's almost the way I felt. So I love Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yes.
It was incredible. I felt like a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
The only part about the Assassin's Creed Black Flag game that I did not like was the assassin part of the game, where you're encouraged to go out on the ocean and do pirate stuff, and then you have to be an assassin when you're back on land and do tailing missions, which that's the other thing. Video game tailing missions, I don't think I've ever felt a fun tailing mission.
Tailing mission and escort missions.
They're both awful.
I think those are universally just hated.
Yeah. What do you think about water and sewer levels?
I understand the hate behind it, but I don't really care, honestly.
That's fair.
Things that bug me more is ice levels more than anything. Like, water levels, I'm fine with. Ice levels, where it's like, all right, all of the controls you've gotten used to, they're just going to be a little fuzzy. You're not going to have as precision as you were just used to just 10 seconds ago. It's like, cool, that's fun.
Yeah, you have to deal with, like, sliding momentum and stuff like that.
Because I just think about, like, in Mario and stuff, where you're used to very consistent platforming and movement, and then all of a sudden, hey, ice, whoosh, there goes that platform.
Mario
Goodbye.
64 is what comes to mind.
Yeah, Mario 64 as well. The ice mountain. And
I think it's because I haven't played too many games with like a lot of ice, where I didn't even think about that. But now that I'm thinking about the times I've had with things like that, I'm just like, yeah, no, I agree with you actually on that.
Yeah, water levels, they can be done actually really well. Like, again, going back to Mario, it's just a bit floatier. You have a bit floaty navigation, but it's still pretty easy to control what you're doing. Compared to an ice level where gravity is the same. Most water levels will let you do whatever with water.
Yeah, as long as you have like some breath thing or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But ice is not nice.
I don't think I've ever played a game with like a good sewer level. I think every time I've ever gone to a sewers in a video game, it just feels like the long part of a game.
I'm just trying to think of sewer levels in games that I've even played, you know?
Okay, you haven't played Dead Island, I'm assuming.
I have not.
Okay, that's one. You definitely have not played The Last of Us.
I have not.
Which is the one that I was thinking. Oh, so I played Wolfenstein, and I love that game. I think I've told you about my love for Wolfenstein.
I need to play Wolfenstein because I heard so many good things about it, and then I just never bought it.
It's a fantastic game. It's easily probably one of my favorite franchises of all time, especially with the reboot.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Youngblood, but the other games are fantastic. That had a sewer level, and as much as that had a submarine level too, but that one was actually fun. I didn't like the 15 minutes of the sewer that I had to do. It was just boring, just a lot of backtracking. not even Wolfenstein can make sewer levels fun for me.
Yeah. I guess I've just not played games where there have been sewer levels, I suppose. Because, again, I don't play more 3D games. I like more 2D, very mechanic-focused games.
Yeah, a lot of side-scrollers.
2D platformers, things like that. Like, I don't play a ton of first-person shooters or third-person shooters. Like, I can enjoy them, but they're not my jam, you know?
Yeah, they're not your go-to. There are games that you play that you can enjoy, but if you're going to pick a game to play that you want, that you know you're going to enjoy, that's usually not on the list.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I understand.
I will say that an exception to the rule of great story would be Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was... So, very long story short, I had a free Xbox, what is it, S is the cheaper one?
Xbox One S, something like
that. Yeah, Xbox One S. And I decided, rather than sell it unopened, brand new, I'm like, well, I don't want to wait a while for Red Dead to get ported to PC, so I'll just play it on Xbox. And then I proceeded to put 80 hours into just the story mode alone because I wasn't going to pay for online, obviously. But the characters in that game are so well written that you understand each role that everyone has. Everything about all of the characters are all so well written. It's incredible. And then when you find out the villain and everything, and you're like, gosh, I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. And that's how you know the character in the story is so well written that you have such a visceral reaction and response to that character.
The villain got the job done that he was meant to do. You're supposed to hate the villain. Exactly.
And so I still want to play it again on PC because I've just played online on PC. I haven't done the story mode again on PC.
Yeah, that's right. I have come over to your house a few times, and I have seen you play it. I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, Red Dead Online, I literally have almost another 300 hours. Again, that's another exception, but it's, for one, I just love cowboys.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the mechanics are easy enough for me that it's like, all right, I get this. I don't have to manage a bunch of garbage and nonsense. I just go out there, I shoot, I sell my moonshine, I do the wanted posters, all that good stuff.
Actually, you just gave me another thought here. What about video game companies that do certain things really well? Like, I think with Rockstar, because you had mentioned Red Dead, and I was thinking, for me personally, although I did love the first Red Dead Redemption, I know there's Red Dead Revolver. I haven't played that one.
Almost
I didn't
no one
play
has,
the
so.
second one, huh?
Said almost no one has.
Yeah, it's true. My cousins did, and that's what eventually got me into Red Dead Redemption. I didn't finish Red Dead Redemption 2. It burned me out after the second chapter, which almost never happens, by the way. I almost never get burned out by games. That was the first time it happened in a very long time. But I think when it comes to Rockstar, their ability to write characters is off the charts.
Yes.
For me, my Rockstar game, because I didn't play any of the Grand Theft Auto games, I never found them compelling to me. I played L.A. Noire.
Yeah.
The game is fantastic. I love that even the main characters, they're people and they're scummy too.
I mean, the whole game is just so wonderfully cheesy, and
but they play into it, which I think adds it
so well.
It adds to the overall storytelling and even to the characters.
Yes.
And I think for me, that's probably my go-to. I played through it once, and I love the aesthetic. Like, I love the 40s to 60s.
Yeah.
Pretty much any game in that area. Like, I love The Godfather. The game wasn't incredible. It did what it needed to do. It was fun. Mafia 3, Mafia 2, Mafia 1. I loved all those games.
Yeah.
I loved L.A. Noire. I think, like I said, I think when it comes to characters, Rockstar has a formula that is really hard to beat.
Yes. One video that I saw on it, on Rockstars by a guy, Nakey Jakey, is pretty well known. He did a breakdown of Rockstar's game design, and they're really solid at storytelling, but they have stuck to a formula that hasn't worked all that well, which I 100% agree with. Again, the mechanics, I enjoy the nice visuals and stuff, especially since, again, I got that big Gamer Boy PC and I can look at them all. But with the one thing that sucks is you're just constantly looking in the map. Follow the trail. Go there. Follow the map over there now. Go there. It's like, all right, well, I want to look at the big screen that's showing me all the pretty things, not just this little PNG with trails on it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I noticed that was definitely an issue in LA Noire.
Yeah.
Because that game is actually a lot more linear than anything else they've put out there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you're in LA in the 1950s, so you really want to explore it.
Yeah.
But the game is just like...
The game is very linear, almost to a fault, I would say. I can show you Funhouse's series of playing through LA Noire called Idiot Detective. Because it points out the fault that you could be playing this game in the most brain-dead way and you'll still progress.
Yeah.
Like, they're just doing the stupidest. Obviously, he's telling the truth as the eyes are just moving everywhere but at you. And he's doing all these crazy things with his face, like, no, that's very truthful.
I love the fact... I respect the fact what they were trying to do with that game.
Yes.
The capture technology for that was really creepy, though.
It was not where it should have been.
No,
it could have grown, to put it mildly.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the IP is still something that they're saving, because I would love a second game. I don't think they could do Cole, obviously. If you haven't played the game, play the game. No spoilers. But, yeah, I think... Yeah, I think it's kind of cool that you also mentioned the bad thing that they do, which is, map design leading around, things like that. It's kind of awful.
Yeah. It just sucks because, again, there's this nice, pretty world that you want to look at, but your eyes are obviously focused at the little map in the corner. And it is what it is. But, I don't know. I think we can call it there. We've been talking for almost 30 minutes.
Sick.
But we'll tease it with more things to talk about, like our favorite video games, which I don't think either of us mentioned our favorite, number one.
No, I think if anything, we can do top 3 and what we love about those games, because my top 3, they're all different genres.
Yeah.
Like, I have a visual novel in one of my top 3. It's not my top. You would think it would. Knowing me, you would think that it would be, knowing the weeb that I am.
Yeah.
Definitely not, though. It is an RPG.
We'll tease it there.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've already teased the mechanics that I love. All of my favorite games are roguelites with some element of platforming most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time.
Yeah, mine are practically all RPGs. Except maybe the third game, which is an action-adventure. Which also goes into a lot of other things that I'll eventually tell you, too.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be good.
Yeah, we'll tease it there and then probably not ever commit to it and go into a completely different topic. But yeah, we like video games. We talk about them here. We might talk about them more. Join us again next week with, I don't know, video games.
We'll find something on the other spectrum that isn't video games, but it could still relate to it in some way.
Says you, I run this show.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just on. I'm just the V. That's all I am, my dudes.
Yeah. You have no power in this circumstance.
I'm just in the name. I asked for my letter to be first, and that was all the power I had.
You're lucky I granted it to you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Richard, is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Goodbye.
Bye.